Good morning, everyone. Here we are, Leadership Excellence with Tom and George. This is our first podcast, and what we're going to talk about is really the foundations of leadership and maybe define what is leadership. So, Tom, maybe you could start. What is leadership to you? And no definition out of a dictionary, just to you.
Yeah, leadership to me is taking care of people. That's just the bottom line is that um, I take care of people, and I think that's the people that I follow. They care about me. I know they genuinely care. How about
Yeah.
you?
Well, okay. So when I think of leadership, I think somebody's leading the way. But then I remember like leading the way doesn't mean you have to be in front all the time. You could be behind. You could be coaching and developing somebody. You're still leading the way, but you're letting them do the
Yeah,
work. So I think I think taking care of people is a good definition, but define taking care. And I would say taking care is challenging them to develop into better human beings that have real values and that their foundation is based on character and integrity and all of these great things so they can enjoy their achievements. So that's
yeah.
what I think. So I think you're right. But what does taking care of people mean? I don't think it means, that they're looking to you for money, they're dependent on you. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's developing them to be the best they can be to achieve the goals that they want to achieve. And you're kind of to the side sometimes, in front sometimes, behind sometimes, pushing them, pulling them, nudging them, having a good conversation with them, and getting them to the next level. That's what I think leadership is.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
You,
Okay,
you
we're
don't
in
have to be
agreement.
you don't have to be authoritative. You just you have you influence people, and you influence people by their actions, by your actions,
Yeah, yours and
right?
you got to create the environment. They can't change without
No.
them wanting to change. They got to want to change. So it's
Yeah.
funny. One of our coaches, in our institute, Tom, says, I don't even work with people unless they know that they have a goal. I mean,
Yeah.
so that means they want to change. They want to improve something towards getting that goal. So I think it's great. So we defined leadership. You take care of people, but taking care of people can be redefined as, not being having them dependent on you. That's not taking care. Taking care is developing them to be the best they can be. Okay.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the foundation of leadership. What is the foundation to you? What's included in the foundation? It's kind of interesting. Now we're talking not about the people, but about the leader themselves.
I mean, I think the leader themselves. I mean, the culture of the organization revolves around the leader, right? So if the leader's pressuring people to do things that are either unethical or illegal,
That
then
happens.
which yeah, which then then it's I don't know. It's just the culture of the organization becomes stressed, and and everybody's afraid to do something. They're afraid to make the right decision.
Mhm.
So whereas on a in an organization where the leaders, I'm not going to say they're going to be wimpy or anything, but they have morals.
Mhm.
They're ethical. And I mean, it's like somebody told me once, as long as you don't do anything illegal, immoral, or illegal, immoral, and I'll think of the other later, uh, then you're doing okay, right? And that's how you lead, is taking care of people and making sure that. And when I say take care of people, I mean develop them to the fullest. Not everybody wants to be a leader.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
but everybody has the capability to be a leader.
Oh, that's a good one. So one of the things a leader should do is recognize that everyone around them has the capability of being a leader themselves. So you're treating them as a leader. So that's
Yeah.
that's probably one thing. Um,
And
good.
not everybody wants to be a leader.
No, no, no. And I don't understand that personally. but I've seen it so many times. You will it on them, but they're just not biting.
Yeah. And, and that's what some organizations do is they have an engineering manager or something or an engineer that's a phenomenal engineer. And in order for that person to make more money, they have to become a manager or a leader. And they get into that position and they're not comfortable doing what they're doing, and they don't lead. They don't take care of their people. They fall apart. And we as leaders in organizations, we create that.
Yeah.
We create that the the we create what happens in an organization, right? We can't blame anybody else.
Hmm.
As leaders, it's us. Look in the mirror.
Yeah. I think what you're saying is you take responsibility for creating the culture and the environment around you so people can improve. That's all
Yeah.
you can do is create the environment and influence people. So which brings up one of our coaches. We're standing on the shoulders of giants. One of them was Ritsu Shingo, the son of
Oh
Shigeo
man,
Shingo. Yeah. We both, for anybody listening to this, we both love the guy. Even though he's gone,
man.
we still love him. One of the
Yes.
things when Tom, you and I went to Santorini, Greece, which I thank you so much for coming, and you were one of the key people that started this off with me. So in Santorini, in our first time meeting Rizzo Shingo, I can remember like two clear things he said. So I'm going to give you that basis for a foundation, and then I want to build on it a little bit. So one of the things he said in 2016 was, "Your job as a leader is to motivate, inspire, and stimulate people's thinking around you." Motivate, inspire, and stimulate people's thinking around. That's your responsibility. So as a leader, the foundation is, are you in a position to motivate? Motivate doesn't mean rah, rah, rah. Motivate means, probably getting into the soul of the individual and understanding what they want to achieve and building uh, a goal that satisfies their personal needs and your business needs and letting them go to it. So
Yeah.
that's one thing. The other one, I mean, 2017, and he made it really clear, is like your job as a leader is go to Gemba.
That's
Go,
right.
yeah, go to Gemba and go to Gemba. Everybody does it wrong from his perspective, right? They say go and see, but it's really go and watch.
Yeah.
He really wanted to make that point. So let's work off of that as a little bit of a foundation. And then for me, leadership is developing yourself first, and you're committing to self-development through understanding, listening to people, and understanding your surroundings and your company. You really got to dig into whatever company you're working in, understand the product, understand the flow, understand the basics. I mean, I think leadership is asking people around you, because they're the experts, what is in their way for obstacles, and helping them iterate towards their goal using scientific thinking. So
Yeah.
that's it. The other one is, you today you can't do this without AI. As far as I'm concerned, any company trying to do anything without AI is already behind the times, and they're just going to die off. My personal opinion. So those are some of the foundations. If I said something, it'd be like motivate, inspire, and stimulate people's thinking. That's one. Go to Gemba. That's two as a foundation. Three, kind of understand people, their thinking, and develop yourself as much as you're helping others develop themselves. Develop yourself through their eyes. It's kind of interesting. It's
And you
like
know
you're,
what Shingo-san
yeah,
taught
go ahead,
me?
Tom.
He taught me compassion.
That's a
He
good
was
one.
just in Santorini. I'll never forget. Every morning we'd go to breakfast and he sat there and he had this stray cat. and this stray cat he'd always be petting this stray cat. It'd be on his lap, and he'd be petting it every morning. And one morning, the cat gets startled and jumps off his lap and kind of scratches him. And Shingo-san says, "Oh, I'm sorry." He
Oh,
truly meant that to the cat. "I'm
wow.
sorry." Yeah. So think about how many people would have been mad because the cat scratched him, jumped off of him, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And here's a man who had just he was just he cared about every living thing. He was the most compassionate person I've ever met. And as for him to be the leader he was, and he was one heck of a leader.
Mhm.
Uh, I think in China he was one of the top 10 business people one year,
Yeah, in his
um,
prefecture, in his area, for sure.
and which
Or it might have been
really
all of China, actually. I don't know.
says a lot because he's Japanese or was
Yeah.
Japanese, right?
Yeah, they don't like the Japanese in general.
No, they don't like it. Yeah. And yet he was one of their top leaders, and he was just that's just the way he was. And kind of a story that like what you were talking about on knowing your people. I had a really good friend. I was in my first command in the military, and I had a very good friend that came up to me and said, "Do you know that person's name?" And I said, "Well, yeah, it's specialist such and such." And said, "No. What is their name? What is their first name?"
Mhm.
And I go, "Specialist?" I said, "No."
Jokingly, yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so are they married? Do they have kids? What do they like to do? And that really started making me think that,
Hmm.
I have to, and honestly, this is one of the turning points in my life when I really started to learn about my employees. I
Wow.
mean, uh, I know I make it a point to know everything about them. Are they from that area? Do their kids play sports? Do they, what do they like? What do they dislike? To the point when I go into a place now and I go to the Gemba, that's one of the first things I start talking. I just start talking to people and finding out what they're all about. What do they care about? And get to know them. And because you can't lead, I don't think, unless you have compassion and understand what drives people.
Right, right. Okay, so I love that, but I can also hear some voices of people listening to our podcast, and all I hear, and I'm being the devil's advocate here, is
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
uh, you can't. You got to make money, you know. You got to bring in profit, otherwise you're not around. So you could care all you like about people, but if they're not adding value to the organization, then it doesn't matter. So here's what a lean leader would say to that: do both. What's wrong
Yes.
with you? Do both. But the problem is that as you move up in an organization, your empathy level decreases. This is like a known study somewhere. You guys look it up. I don't care. Your empathy level decreases, your compassion decreases. So, what ends up happening is you're looking at the world through your lenses. And that's sad. So, you got to have all of this perspective. And of course, as a leader, you got to drive the vision for the organization. So, I think Tom, this is a great place for us to start. And I think next week we talk a little bit about vision. What does it mean to have a vision, create a vision? We'll even use AI to do it. How about that?
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll show people what it means to create a little bit of vision through AI and a little bit of a 64 chart. We call it Open Window
Oh,
64 used by Shohei Ohtani. So I'm going to let you prepare. You'll be the executive, Tom.
I'll,
You'll tell me a goal. I will
I'll be the
create.
guinea pig.
You'll be the guinea pig. So I think you need vision, and that's probably one of the things we're looking for in leadership as a foundation. And of course, you heard the rest is like we're taking from experts, somebody 40 years at Toyota, his son His dad actually coached and developed Taiichi Ono to develop the Toyota production system. He's the coach to Taiichi Ono at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking we better listen to this guy. And his main focus is the behavior part. Go to Gemba. Go and watch, not go and see. Any final comments, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, and you look at like Deming also, right?
Mhm.
Um, Deming said the same thing, on uh, on leadership, really taking care of the leaders. We don't develop leaders in the U.S. We don't coach them. We don't develop them.
Yeah, it's
So
sad. We don't develop them anywhere in the
yeah,
world, really, in
no,
general, if we were to be general. So, I mean, honestly, we've got a great leadership development program. Everybody should
yeah,
be calling us
yeah,
up, Tom. We'll leave our numbers below. Shameless plugging of our services. Okay, I'll see
yeah.
you next week. The next topic is vision, and this is
Excellent.
leadership excellence with Tom and George.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Tom. Take care.